Welcome back. All right, so we got 12 games to review. If you're looking for a review of the matinee games, that review is already on the channel. So those 3 games I've already done reviews for. Let's go ahead and jump in and talk about tonight's games, starting with Vancouver and Toronto. Lankinen versus Hildeby, and 31 seconds in on their first shot, Vancouver scores. Besser tips one from the slot. Myers and Pettersson with the assists there. It's 1-0 Vancouver. Who knew? Shots are 3-0 Canucks at a minute and a half. We get a power play for Vancouver, or for Toronto, I should say. That's killed off. 2 shots on net. Vancouver didn't have a power play tonight. The Leafs press after it's done. Miller then can't bury one in close as the Canucks get some pressure. The Leafs press with 9 minutes left. The shots are 9 apiece with 4 minutes left. Leafs press with 3.5 minutes left. There's a crossbar for Riley on a rush with 2:13 left. The Leafs get a power play. That's killed off. It's 1-0 Vancouver after 1. Second period, there was not a whole lot in terms of sustained pressure, as there's 9 games on. And so the shots are 4-2 for Toronto at 8.5 minutes. The Canucks press at the half. Robertson has a net feed. That's held. Lots of one and done in this. So not like sustained pressure. It's just the one shot or the one attempt, and then it's right back the other way. Hughes has a screenshot that deflects wide. We get a power play for Toronto. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1. Sherwood's denied there. That power play is killed off. And then at 18:12, Hughes puts one to the net that Benoit knocks in. So it's counted as an own goal. Hughes credited with it. It's 2-0 Vancouver after 2. Third period, the Canucks get an early press, and Hughes proving why he's the most valuable player for the Canucks on this play. Sherwood gets the goal from Hughes and Myers at 47 seconds. It's 3-0 Vancouver in Toronto, and the crowd has gone pretty silent in Toronto. The Leafs press at 4.5 minutes. The shots are 2 apiece at 6 minutes. Canucks press at 8 minutes. DeBrusk has a rush chance. That's blocked. Canucks with some pressure with 9 minutes left. McMahon to Matthews gets blocked. The Canucks press with 7 minutes left. There really isn't much that happens after that. This was a very quiet game, but this time, unlike last night, the Canucks win this 3-0. They go to 19-13-10 with the win. With the loss, Toronto 27-15-2. And they lose out on an opportunity to draw out their lead a little bit over Florida, top the division. Your 3 stars are Hughes, Myers, and Lankinen. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 6-5 Toronto in the second, 5-4 Toronto in the third. Final shots are 20-18 for Toronto. It's not a pretty game Vancouver's playing right now. It won tonight. It didn't win last night. Power plays, Vancouver didn't have any. Toronto went 0 for 3. So there are some encouraging things for Vancouver. Considering the flight delay coming into Toronto, the fact they get 2 points is nothing short of miraculous here, and their effort was good. They out-hit Toronto 22-11. Lankinen saves all 20 shots for the shutout and gets back on the road, and he does pretty well on the road. Hildeby 16 saves on 18 shots. He played pretty well after allowing a goal in that first shot. They held Toronto to 20 shots and they win the game. I'm as surprised as anybody by that. Anyways, Dallas in against the Montreal Canadiens. So 2 teams with streaks on the line here. Ottinger versus Montembeault. Shots are 2-1 for Dallas at 4 minutes. Teams trade turnovers. Armia's denied as the Habs get some pressure. Good forechecking by Wyatt Johnston. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. A wrist shot for Evans is held. The Stars press with 7 minutes left. And they had all kinds of opportunities from there on. Just could not solve Montembeault. It's scoreless after 1. Second period. Shots are 2-0 Montreal at 2 minutes. Evans fires one wide as there's some pressure by Montreal. The Habs press at 3.5 minutes. In fact, they're controlling the first 5 minutes of this period. Caulfield then fires one wide past the screen. The Habs press 8 minutes into the period. So the Habs press at 8 minutes. Shots are 10-3 for the Habs with 7 minutes left. We get a power play for Montreal. That becomes a minute and 27 seconds of 5-on-3. That's too long. And so Laine buries it from his spot. If you've been watching these games, you know where Laine buries it from. Left circle. Suzuki and Hudson with the assists at 15-14. It's 1-0 Montreal. Then there's a shorthanded chance for Ben that's blocked out. The Stars do kill off the 5-on-4, and at 17:34, Ben wires one on a 2-on-1 rush. Maverick Bork with the assists. It's 1-1 at that point. Johnston then fires one wide from the high slot. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Early press by the Habs. The shots are 1 apiece at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. The Stars get stuck on one shot for a while, and then the Stars press with 7 minutes left. And by the time we get to 4.5 minutes left, the shots are actually 8-6 for Dallas. Line A has a rush chance. That's blocked out. The teams trade rushes. The Habs press with a minute and a half left. And this is 4 overtimes in a row for the Montreal Canadiens. They were trying to tie a record of 4 straight overtime wins. The Stars' point streak hits 9 games. So Dallas playing very well recently. So in overtime, Harley is a wrister that's held. The Stars win their next face-off as well. Evans steals, rushes. There's another turnover. And then the Habs have a 2-on-1 that misfires. Duchesne misses one high in a rush. Robertson has a shot that's held. The Habs control on a face-off. They set up, and then Stankoven's denied on a turnover. We're going to the shootout. In the shootout, Jason Robertson with the winner. Dallas escapes Montreal with 2 points. They win this one 2-1 in a shootout. They go to 27-13-1 with the win. With the loss, Montreal 20-18-4. But Montreal still showing how good they are. 3 stars are Montembeault, Laine, and Ottinger. Shots on net, 16-7 Dallas in the first, 12-7 Montreal in the second, 11-8 Montreal in the third, and 4-1 Dallas in the overtime. Final shots, 35-31 for Dallas. Power plays, Dallas 0 for 1. The Montreal Canadiens 1 for 3. That 5-on-3 goal, of course. The hits, 30-8 for Montreal. Ottinger saves 30 out of 31. Montembeault saves 34 out of 35. But, yeah, Dallas has it going on. All right. Tampa Bay and New Jersey. So Vasilevsky versus Markstrom. Shots are 3-0 Devils at 2 minutes. Bratt has a rush chance that's blocked. Hamilton's then denied on a 3-on-1 rush. The teams trade turnovers. There's a post for Chaffee on a rush. And Palat gets his 10th goal to open the scoring for New Jersey from Hamilton and Bratt at 8 minutes and 10 seconds. However, the Tampa Bay Lightning would answer. A face-off win, and Hedman puts it in past a screen. Nick Paul with the assist at 9:57. It's a 1-1 tie. Bolts press at the half. Shots are 10-6 for the Devils with 7 minutes left. The Devils press at 3.5 minutes left, I should say. And then Bratt hits a post on a breakaway. So it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, early press by the Devils. Shots are 1 apiece at 4 minutes. The Devils get some pressure at 6 minutes. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. The Devils then get a power play. That's killed off as well with 6.5 minutes left. The shots are 5-4 in favor of the Devils. And at 15-16, Jack Hughes, unassisted, gets the lead back for New Jersey at 2-1. Tampa Bay looks to respond, and with 4.7 seconds left, Tampa Bay draws a power play. So it's 2-1 New Jersey after 2, and Tampa's on the power play to start the third. The Devils finish the kill early. Bolts go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. The shots are 5-0 for Tampa at 7.5 minutes. And at 8:06, on a breakaway, Kucherov buries one. Hagel and McDonough with the assists, so it becomes a 2-2 tie. The shots are 6-1 for Tampa with 4.5 minutes left. We end up going to overtime, and Markstrom gets us there. Devils control early. The Bolts win the next faceoff. Kucherov fans on one. The Devils rush. We then get a power play for New Jersey, and they score on it. It took a Devils bounce over to Nason, who buries it. Jack Hughes and Bratt with the assists at 3:19. The Devils win this one 3-2. A much-needed victory for New Jersey. They go to 26-15-4 with the win. With the overtime loss, Tampa Bay 22-15-3 on the year. 3 stars are Nason, Markstrom, and Jack Hughes. Shots on net, 14-9 New Jersey in the first, 7-6 Tampa in the second, 9-1 Tampa in the third. New Jersey had all 5 shots in the overtime. Final shots 26-25 for the Devils. Power plays Tampa Bay 0 for 3. New Jersey 1 for 2. The hits 27-14 New Jersey. Vasilevsky saves 23 out of 26. Markstrom saves 23 out of 25. So entertaining game, and in the end, New Jersey gets the victory. All right, next up, Anaheim and Philadelphia. So you can see that there's the magnet on the board there. Gibson versus Ersson in this one. Flyers press at a minute and a half. Drysdale has a shot that's kicked aside. Shots are 3-0 Philly. 3 minutes in. Flyers press again at 4.5 minutes. 6.5 minutes in, the shots are 8-2. And then Frost scores for Philly at 6:48 from Konechny and Tippett. We then get a power play for Philadelphia. That's killed off. Flyers press with 7.5 minutes left. With 2:55 left, the Flyers get a power play, and they score on it. It's Drysdale. Puts it under the pad from in close. Konechny and Frost with the assists at 18-11. Drysdale, of course, played for Anaheim and was traded away. Flyers press in the final minute. Things get punchy at the horn. It's 2-0 Philadelphia after 1. Second period. Full power play for the Flyers to start because of the punchiness at the horn. That's killed off. The shots are 4-2 Philly at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for Anaheim. Pretty strong shorthanded play by Hathaway during that. That is killed off. Things are pushy and punchy. Emotions are rising in this one. Ducks press with 9.5 minutes left, and at 16:12 Tippett fires one home on a 2-on-1 rush. The assist to Konechny there makes it 3-0 for the Flyers. Everything gets punchy with 3:03 left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 out of that. Ducks press are kept to the outside, and then the Flyers again press in the final minute. So they close out the period well, and they're up 3-0 after 2. Third period, 24 seconds in on a net drive, Paling roofs one. The assist to Hathaway and Sanheim, so 4-0. The Flyers look for another, and there's all kinds of punching and pushing as well in this period, and then we get 2 more minutes of 4-on-4. Then we get a power play for Philadelphia, and they score on it. Michkov from Konechny and Drysdale at 7:36, and then Hathaway buries one in close after the Ducks have turned it over. Paling and Lawton with the assist at 8:55. So at this point, Cronin calls a timeout to tell the Ducks that they suck, because they do, and they need to be better, and they need to feel bad about it. The Ducks press with 4.5 minutes left. There's a near miss for Colangelo and close. They get some opportunities, but I think the thing that threw me off was there were a couple of times where I was like, is there a Duck player smiling right now? That's weird, because they're down 6-0. And that's your final score, 6-0. Shouldn't be any smiling. Like, it reminded me of Moneyball. Like, what are you laughing about? But yeah, so the Flyers needed victory here as well, of course. 18-20-5 with the win. With the loss, Anaheim 17-20-5 and crashing out badly. Your 3 stars are Konechny, Ersson, and Drysdale. Shots on net, 14-7 Philly in the first, 7-5 Anaheim in the second, 11-8 Philly in the third. Final shots are 30-22 for the Flyers. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 1, Philadelphia 2 for 4. The hits, 31-29 for Anaheim. Gibson saves 24 out of 30. And Ersson, not all that busy, but 22 saves on 22 shots. He gets himself the shutout. And the extermination magnets on the board, because the difference was by 5 or more goals in said shutout. Let's go to board number 2. All right, Edmonton and Chicago. So it's Pickard versus Soderblom. The only shot on net was for Chicago at 2.5 minutes. We then get a post for Kapanen. And at 4:45, Teravainen with his 3rd goal in 2 games. One-timer as well in this. Dickinson and Foligno with the assists. It's 1-0 Chicago. Hawks press at 6.5 minutes. The shots are 4 apiece at 9 minutes. Oilers press with 8.5 minutes left. And then at 15:01, Nick Foligno makes it 2-0 Chicago. Buries one short side. Teravainen and Martinez with the assists. Draisaitl then has a near miss as the Oilers press. Chicago presses in the final minute. They're up 2-0 after the first. So, there you go. Second period, 22 seconds in, Podkolzin scores for Ottawa on a nice pass from behind the net. Arvidsson and Draisaitl with the assist, so it's 2-1. Oilers press then looking for the tie. Nazar has a net drive that's defended. The Hawks press at 4 minutes. The Oilers press at 8 minutes. And then at 10:03, Donato with a wrister from the slot restores the 2-goal lead for Chicago. Allen and Hall with the assists. Hyman's then denied as the Oilers press. More pressure by the Oilers with 5.5 minutes left. And at 15:49, Adam Henrique makes it a 1-goal game. He tips this one in close. Emberson and Podkolzin with the assists. Hawks look to respond. But at 17:30, Corey Perry wrists one far corner. He had time to think about that one. Kapanen with the assist. It's a 3-3 tie. Oilers then press for the lead. Things get pushy at the horn. So we have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 to start the third period. With the score tied at 3. Shots are 1 apiece at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Oilers, and they score on it. At 7:18, it's Hyman bearing a rebound. Draisaitl and Bouchard with the assists, so it's 4-3 for the Oilers. The Oilers press at 9 minutes. And this was a game that I had on the tablet, and there wasn't really a whole lot else for me to write. 52.9 seconds left with the goalie already pulled. The Hawks call a timeout. It becomes a 6-on-4 at that stage as well. They're not able to generate the tying goal or really much of anything. The Oilers win this one 4-3. They go to 26-13-3 with the win. Chicago 14-27-2. They had the good start and then just ran out of gas. Shots on net, 9-8 Edmonton in the first, 15-7 Edmonton in the second, 10-7 Edmonton in the third. Final shots, 34-22 for the Oilers. Power plays, the Oilers scored on the only power play they had. Chicago had 1 power play. They did not score on it. The hits, 27-18 Chicago. Pickard, 19 saves on 22 shots. And Soderblom, 30 saves on 34 shots. All right, next up, Columbus and St. Louis. So it's Greaves versus Binnington. Fantilli has a slot shot that's held. The shots were 4-0 Columbus at 3 minutes. They came out and played like they do at home in this one. Post for Matejchuk. The Blues press are kept to the outside. Fantilli has a rush chance that saved. Shots are 6-4 for Columbus with 9 minutes left. Columbus gets some pressure. They're kept to the outside. Walker has a rush chance that deflects wide. And then at 15:38, Fantilli just skates it around Binnington, puts it in the net. Marchenko and Voronkov with the assists. Columbus with the 1-0 lead. Blues press to respond. Things get pushy on a hold by Greaves. Columbus presses with 2.5 minutes left. The Blues press in the final minute. It's 1-0 Columbus after 1. Second period, Blues press at a minute and a half. Falk has a slapper that's blocked out. Things get pushy again on a hold by Greaves. Toropchenko couldn't bury one in close. The shots on net are 3-1 Columbus 5 minutes in. Columbus presses at 5.5 minutes. Sundqvist has a chance that's kicked aside. Columbus presses at the half. Thomas fires one high from the slot. The Blues press with 6 minutes left. We get a power play for Columbus, and they score on it. It is Sillinger on a pass from behind the net. Van Riemsdyk and Del Bell Belouz with the assists at 16:51. That is a fun name to say, isn't it? 2:49 left. The Blues get a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. So after the second period, it's 2-0 for Columbus, and Columbus has 1:01 left in their power play to start the third period. There's a shorthanded chance for Buchnevich. He's denied there. The Blues do finish the kill. Then there's a press by St. Louis at 2 minutes. In fact, 3.5 minutes in, the shots are 5-1 for St. Louis. Columbus presses at 6.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Blues. That's killed off. Fantilli has a rush chance. That's held. The goalie pull happens with 4 minutes left. With 1:27 left, it becomes a 6-on-4 power play for St. Louis. And at 18:48, Parayko scores from Bolduc and Falk. That should be 19:48 because I know it was in the closing seconds. He buries a rebound at the net, and then the Blues just ran out of time. They might have tied it if you added another minute to the clock, but in the end, Columbus wins 2-1. They go to 20, 17, and 6 with the win. St. Louis 20, 20, and 4 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Greaves, Fantilli, and Parayko. Shots on net, 11-9 Columbus in the first, 15-8 Columbus in the second, 15-4 St. Louis in the third. Final shots, 32-30 for the Blues. Power plays, Columbus 1 for 2, St. Louis 1 for 3. The hits, 22-14 St. Louis. Greaves saves 31 out of 32. Binnington saves 28 out of 30. All right, next up, Colorado and Winnipeg. You know, I keep hearing about how goaltenders aren't very good right now and scoring is up, and I keep seeing these articles and thinking, it's not though. Like, save percentage is down, sure, but they keep shaving the shots down. It's the shot audit. It's like there's fewer shots per game because it's the shot audit that they do every game now. Anyways, Blackwood versus Hellebuck at 1:08. Ehlers scores from Sandberg, so Winnipeg gets that early goal. Important for Winnipeg to do that after the struggles they had against the Kings. The Avs press to respond. The Jets press at 3 minutes. The shots are 4-2 Winnipeg at 4.5 minutes. Perfetti's denied and close. The Jets press at 8 minutes. We get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. The Avs press after it ends. The Jets get pinned down a bit. There's a near miss for Makar during some pressure by the Avs. Shots are 9-8 for Winnipeg with 3.5 minutes left. And it's 1-0 Winnipeg after 1. Second period. Niederreiter has a net feed that's picked off. Colton has a rush chance that's saved. The shots are 4-2 for Winnipeg at 9.5 minutes. So they're doing a good job of controlling the Colorado attack, which is not easy. Absolutely not an easy thing to do. The Avs press with 9.5 minutes left. Jets get some pressure of their own with 7.5 minutes left. The Avs get some more pressure with 5 minutes left. So it's kind of a back and forth on this in this chess match of a game. Net feed to Rantanen gets picked off, and at 15:53, Scheifele buries one from the side of the net to make it 2-0. The assist to Connor and Morrissey. The Jets then press in the final minute. They're up 2-0 after 2. Much better feeling than it was against the Kings. Third period, Makar has a rush chance that's blocked out. Sandberg then has a net feed that deflects out. Jets press at 4 minutes. We get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. The shots are 4-0 for Colorado, 6.5 minutes in. Jets press at 7 minutes. They get some more pressure with 8 minutes left. The Avs get some pressure with 6 minutes left. They would pull the goalie. They have some pressure 6-on-5, and then it's an empty netter. It's Ehlers with a second of the game. Lowry and Iafallo with the assists at 19:03. Winnipeg wins 3-0. The Tiger Magnet's on the board again. It would have been on the board 3 times if I didn't have the Extermination Magnet brought into the game. So Winnipeg goes to 29-12-3 with the win. With the loss, Colorado 26-17-1. They lose out on an opportunity to keep up with the teams they're chasing at the top of the division. 3 stars, Hellebuck, Ehlers, and Scheifele. Shots on net, 11-10 Winnipeg in the first, 12-5 Winnipeg in the second, 7-6 Colorado in the third. Final shots, 29-22 for Winnipeg. Power plays, the Jets did not have one. The Colorado Avalanche went 0 for 2. The hits, 24-21 Winnipeg. Blackwood saves 26 out of 28. And Hellebuck saves all 22 for another shutout in win number 301 in his long, illustrious, very successful career. All right, next up, the Washington Capitals and the Nashville Predators. So it's Thompson versus Saros in this one. Teams trade rushes. The shots are 2-1 Nashville at 4.5 minutes. Pressed by Nashville at 6.5 minutes. More pressure by them at 9 minutes. In fact, they had a very good first period. So the Caps play picks up a bit in the second half. They get some pressure with 5.5 minutes left as well. And then Nashville with some pressure with 4 minutes left. But it's scoreless after one, and it feels like it's kind of a Nashville game, even though the shot totals are low, which usually is a Washington-type game to play. Second period, early power play for the Caps. That's killed off. There's a press by Nashville at 4.5 minutes. Shots are 3-0 Nashville at 6 minutes. The Caps, they go back to the power play, and they score on this one. Wilson goes 5-hole from in close. Strome and Ovechkin with the assists at 8:03. Caps press at the half. There's a press by the Nashville Predators with 9 minutes left. Then there's more pressure by Nashville with 4 minutes left. Things get pushed in a hole by Thompson. We end up with a power play for Nashville, and at 16:14, Forsberg roofs one from the right circle. Marchessault and Yossi with the assists, so that ties the game at 1. Pressed by Nashville with a minute and a half left, but they come out of that second period, they had to feel really good. They're ahead in shots, the score is tied, they're playing really well. Third period, shots are 4-1 Nashville at 4 minutes. So again, they're playing well, they're getting the shots. It's just a matter of, being able to convert. Sissons has a 3-on-2 chance that saved. The Caps press at 7.5 minutes. And then at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, on a nice rush, Ethan Frank with his first NHL goal. He scores that from Roy and Ferrari. So nice to see Frank at the NHL level. A goal to go with the assist he had in his first game. Not too shabby for a call-up. Nashville pushes to respond. There's a power play for the Preds. That's killed off. Nashville presses after the Caps, or afterwards, the Caps are forced to ice it as well. They're kind of pinned down, but Mangiapane puts one over the pad and into the net from Duhaime at 14:54. So a turnover, and Washington buries it. Goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left, and at 19:02, who else but Alex Ovechkin with his 20th of the season. He's now 22 back of Gretzky into the empty net, and then Nashville ends the game on a power play, but it is the ending of the game. Final score 4-1 for Washington. They go to 28-10-5 with the win. With the loss, Nashville 13-22-7. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. 3 stars are Frank, Forsberg, and Thompson. Shots on net, 8-5 Nashville in the first, 12-3 Nashville in the second, 13-8 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 33-16 in favor of Nashville. They lose the game. Power plays, 1 for 2 for Washington, 1 for 3 for Nashville. Nashville out-hit them too, 18-12. Thompson saves 32 out of 33. Saros, rough night statistically, 12 saves on 15 shots. And now it's time for board number 3. All right, final board of your Saturday. So, the Islanders and Utah. And again, low scores all the way across the board. So, there you go. Hogberg versus Ingram in this one. The shots are 1 apiece 5 minutes in. I had to make a decision tonight. So, there were 9 games on when this game started. So, I was like, okay, I'm not going to try to, find a way to watch the Islanders-Utah game because 8's the limit that I can watch. And I don't want to say at a time because I don't want people to think I'm watching 8 screens, but 6 on the TV, 1 on the tablet, and 1 on the computer. So, the Islanders press at 5.5 minutes. There's more pressure by them at 9 minutes. Utah then presses with 6.5 minutes left. I was able to pick up on this one because the Columbus-St. Louis game was fast. That was over quickly. So I was able to tune into this one in the first period. Shots are 8-4 for the Islanders with 4 minutes left. With 1:21 left, the Islanders go to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. We do not have a score in this game. Second period, the Utah finishes the kill, and then at 1:13, Schmaltz deflects in a point shot by Kesselring. Cooley had the assist as well on that one, so it's 1-0 for Utah. Utah presses for another. Things get pushy on a hold by Hogberg. Shots are 4-2 Utah at 4 minutes. The Islanders press at 6 minutes. Utah then gets some pressure at 7.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Utah Hockey Club. That's killed off. Utah presses with 2.5 minutes left. With 1:13 left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Utah presses during that 4-on-4 in the final minute. It's 1-0 Utah after 2. Third period. Cooley has a net drive that's saved. Stenlund has a slapper that's kicked aside. And early on, it looks like, Utah's got a good chance of winning this. However, at 3:36, on a tic-tac-toe play, Nelson buries one to tie it. Lee and Barzal with the assists. Utah then presses at 5 minutes. The Islanders draw a power play. That's killed off. Shots are 5-4 for the Islanders at 8 minutes. We get a power play for Utah. There's a shorthanded rush chance by Horvat. That's saved. Does help to kill off the power play as well. And then the Islanders press and they score. Barzal buries a loose puck in close. Lee and Pollock with the assists at 18:34. It's 2-1 for the Islanders. 20 seconds left with the goalie already pulled. Utah calls a timeout. Whatever they discuss does not work. Your final score in this one's 2-1 for the Islanders. They go to 17, 18, and 7. They've won 3 in a row, I do believe. Utah 18, 17, and 7 with the loss, and that loss hurts. 3 stars are Barzal, Ingram, and Nelson. Shots on net 14-5 Islanders in the first, 10-5 Utah in the second, 13-7 Islanders in the third. Final shots 32-22 for the Islanders. Power plays, Islanders 0 for 3, Utah 0 for 2. The hits 25-23 Islanders. Hogberg saves 21 out of 22, and Ingram saves 30 out of 32. So, yeah, Utah could have won this, but in the end, the Islanders end up coming out with the win. All right, next up, LA and Calgary. So it's Riddick versus Wolf. Early press by Calgary. Power play then for the Kings. Kempe has a one-timer that's held. Fiala has a slot shot that's held. That power play's killed off. The Flames get a power play. That's killed off as well. And then at 6:19, Moverare just buries it past a screen. So it's either Moverare, or Moverare. I've heard all of them, and whatever. It's Moverare, I guess. So, yeah, he fires that one past the screen unassisted, and it's 1-0 LA. At least it didn't show an assist throughout, and even when I was putting this together. The shots are 15-2 for the Kings at 7.5 minutes. And then it was like they just stopped getting shots on net. It was the weirdest thing. So LaFerriere a net drive that saved, and the Kings aren't giving any room to the Flames out there. The Flames press with 5.5 minutes left. Kempe has a rush chance that saved with 2:50 left. The Flames get a power play. That's killed off. It's 1-0 LA after 1. Second period, there's a near miss for Moore as the Kings get some pressure. We get a power play for LA. That's killed off. The shots are 3-2 for Calgary at 7 minutes, and then at 8:58, Coronado scores from Coleman to tie the game at 1. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Flames press early in that. The teams exchange rushes. The shots are 5 apiece with 8 minutes left. Jeannot has a fight with Lomberg. The Flames press with 6.5 minutes left. 2:17 left. The Kings get a power play, so that means the referee sucks. The power play's killed off. No shots on it. So, hey, the power play sucked too. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period, early press by Calgary. They end up getting a power play, and they score on it. At 4:35, Huberdeau buries a rebound. He just spins and turns and gets that in the net. Coronado and Kadri with the assists. It somehow is 2-1 for Calgary. With the way this game started, I thought the Kings would have run him out of the building. That did not happen. The Flames 3-on-2 was broken up. And then Burrows had a fight with Lomberg. So Lomberg with a couple of fights tonight. Remember, if a player has 3 fights in the same game, they get a game misconduct. So he only had 2. Kempe has a rush chance that saved. Things are pushy and punchy on a hold by Wolf. The Kings press with 3.5 minutes left with 1:48 left. The Flames get a power play. There's a shoulder save on Backlund. Basically, the Flames, well, they treated this like a power play. They had a lot of pressure. By the time the goalie pull happens for the Kings, there's only 20 seconds left, and they don't have enough time. The Flames win this one 2-1. They go to 20, 14, and 7 with the victory to keep pace with the Canucks. The Kings 24, 11, and 5 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Coronado, Wolf, and Huberdeau. Shots on net 17-4 LA in the first, and then 6-5 Calgary in the second, 10-8 LA in the third. LA outshoots them 32-18. Power plays 0 for 3 for LA. Calgary 1 for 4. The hits 20-10 for Calgary. Riddick 16 saves on 18 shots. Wolf 31 saves on 32 shots. All right, next up, the Rangers and the Vegas Golden Knights. So Shesterkin versus Samsonov. The only shot on net is Vegas's at 4.5 minutes. I'm still trying to get used to saying Samsonov. It just doesn't. Anyway, so Vegas presses at 7 minutes, but the shots are 5-2 for the Rangers with 9 minutes left. So Vegas is getting zone time. They're not getting to the net though. Vegas presses with 6 minutes left. The teams trade rush chances. Rangers press in the final minute. Zibanejad has a chance that's held. And it's 0-0 after 1. Second period. Eichel has a rush chance that's blocked out. Dorofeev is denied. Vegas with the early edge. Vegas presses at 4 minutes. The shots are 4-2, though, for the Rangers at 5 minutes. So watching the game, I'm like, well, there's a lot of opportunities for Vegas that just aren't quite getting there. It felt like they had the territorial edge. We then get a power play for Vegas, and they score on it. It takes 8 seconds. Stone gets it from Eichel at 6:17, so it's 1-0 for Vegas. And the expectation would be The Rangers are fragile. This is just going to be the start of that snowball rolling downhill, and they won't be able to stop it. Well, Kaliev has a net drive that's saved. The Rangers then get a power play, and they score on it. Their power play is good again. It's Trocheck from Zibanejad and Panarin at 9:54. He got hurt as he scored. I'll go that way with it. And he would exit. So 1-1 on that one. Hopefully Trocheck's perfectly fine. The Rangers press with 7.5 minutes left. There's a net feed to Cooley that gets blocked. Things get pushy on a hold by Shesterkin. Then there's a crossbar for Eichel. Vegas presses in the final minute. And there was a goal by Vegas, but it was after the buzzer. And I could tell it was after the buzzer because the green light was on before the puck went in. So clearly after the buzzer. And it's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Teams trade rushes. The Rangers press at 4 minutes. Kolasar has a net drive that's blocked. And then at 5:57, Edstrom with one that deflects in. Brodzinski and Rempe with the assists. So there's Matt Rempe with an assist. It's 2-1 for the Rangers. Power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Dorofeev nearly banks one in. So it was this weird, bank shot. I mean, you're in Vegas, so why not give it a shot, right? Shots are only 2-1, though, for Vegas with 9 minutes left. Not very Vegas-like shot totals. Then there's a post for Panarin as the Rangers get some pressure. Petrangelo's denied as Vegas presses. And it is the standard last 5 minutes of any game involving Vegas. They're probably down. They're probably going to tie it. They're probably going to win. So with 2:55 left, Vegas gets a power play. That's killed off. It had 3 shots on it. They even pulled the goalie to make it 6-on-4. And the Rangers hold on. They win this one 2-1. They go to 20-20-2 with the win. The Rangers are digging their way out. And this one thing to keep in mind with the Eastern playoff race, they're still in this. Vegas 28-11-3 with the loss. This is where the fact that there's nobody with like a fantastic record in that second wildcard spot, or even the first wildcard spot really, helps out the Rangers. It's not as much of a disaster as it would have been in almost any other season, being below 500 at this point. Although they're 500 now, right? 3 stars are Shesterkin, Stone, and Edstrom. Shots on net, 12-6 Rangers in the first, 12 apiece in the second, 11-2 Vegas in the third. Final shots, 29-26 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Power plays, the Rangers scored on the only one they had. The Vegas Golden Knights go 1 for 3. Your hits, 21-13 for Vegas. I forgot to put the goalies on here. Shesterkin saves 28 out of 29. Samsonov saves 24 out of 26 for the Vegas Golden Knights. So the 2 Russian goalies, pretty good nights. Igor just that little bit better, and he was the first star in the game. So maybe it's not over for the Rangers. Maybe it's not done. All right, next up, Minnesota and San Jose. So Fleury versus Askarov in this one. Sharks press at 3 minutes. Fleury then poke checks to Foley as he's trying to get to the net. Shots are 2-1 Minnesota at 5 minutes, and at 5:51, Rossi scores from Zuccarello and Boldy. The Sharks then get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 7-5 for San Jose with 8.5 minutes left. The Sharks press with 3.5 minutes left. And there's a near miss for Celebrini on a buzzer beater. It's 1-0 Minnesota after 1. But San Jose played well that period. Second period. Yurchek has a shot that's saved. The Sharks press at 3 minutes. The shots are 3-2 for the Sharks at 4.5 minutes. And at 4:34, Boldy scores from Zuccarello. So that makes it 2-0 for Minnesota. And he goes glove side from the right circle and was kind of a bit against the flow of play there. So Minnesota with the lead. And extending the lead, I should say. Celebrini's denied and close. The Sharks press at 9 minutes. Shots are 9-6 for the Sharks with 7.5 minutes left. Rossi has a tip shot. That saved as the Wild press. And then, off of a rush, Eklund buries a rebound. Celebrini and Wallman with the assists at 17:30. And then the Sharks press to tie it. It's 2-1 Minnesota after 2. Third period, Goudreau has a rush chance that saved. The Wild press at 3 minutes. The Sharks get pinned down a bit. They block the net pretty well there. Celebrini has a shot that's blocked as they get some pressure. Granlund DeGraff gets picked off at the net. Rossi's then denied on a rush. Zetterlund has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 6-3 for San Jose with 7.5 minutes left. The Wild press with 5 minutes left. And then, it's not an empty netter because Askarov hadn't got to the bench yet. Zuccarello gets a turnover and sees the goalies leaving the net. He puts it right into the net at 18:43. So Matt Zuccarello with the goal. So you feel bad for Askarov, but he was called over to the bench. It's what you do as a goaltender, right? So 49.2 seconds left. The Sharks get a power play. It's a 6-on-4, but they're not able to generate a second or a third goal here. So Minnesota wins 3-1. They're 27-12-4, and they're playing in Vegas tomorrow. Vegas is going to be kind of ticked off because they've lost back-to-back games at home. Very rare. San Jose 13-26-6 with the loss. 3 stars are Fleury, Boldy, and Celebrini. Shots on net, 16-6 San Jose in the first, 13-9 for San Jose in the second, 8-6 San Jose in the third. Final shots 37-21 for the Sharks. Power plays, Minnesota didn't have any, and San Jose went 0 for 2. The hits 20-18 Minnesota. Fleury saves 36 out of 37. Askarov saves 18 out of 21. So some entertaining hockey tonight. Not a lot of goals. Not a lot of goals. For all the stuff I've been hearing about goaltenders, I think goaltenders are right in the National Hockey League right now. And I think tonight kind of shows that. So we'll see. We're now into the second half of the season. So usually in most seasons, this is where defense gets a little bit tighter, goaltending gets a little bit better. Guys start talking about, playoffs and how important it is to get all those points. And usually some of those opportunities you get in October, they dry up once you get into February and March. Usually. Not every year, though. Let me see what happens the rest of the way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support, as always. It was a long Saturday. Absolutely. Next Saturday is a long Saturday as well. There are some very busy days between now and Four Nations. And that's part of the reason why it's so busy, is because there's an extra week for time off because of the Four Nations tournament. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know your thoughts, though. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you again soon.